Hi guys, Carrie here from the Art of the Pour. I am just putting together a space theme box for the winner of this month's draw, and a special hello to Vicky and to Zoe, the winners. So I'm wrapping up the box, and then I'll do a demonstration on the actual art that you'll be doing. Okay, so just showing you everything that I'm putting in the box for anybody who's following it on the video and wants to know how to recreate this. First, it comes with a 9x12 canvas, pre-primed black, because it's space. Normally, I would have tape along the edges here, but even though I have 18 rolls of it, I still can't seem to find it. So if you happen to have electrical tape, and that's what I use, at home, just go around the edges here so that once the painting is dry, we can rip it off and catch any drips that have come down. So that is going to be what you're working on. And the first step to working on this is to find a clean, level space to work on, because if it's not level, the resin will just pour off one side. It also comes with a puppy pad, as I have here, for easy cleanup. So I'm just going to cover the top of this so it doesn't get marked up with the puppy pad and put it in the box. Okay, so we also have resin. Resin and hardener, these need to be mixed together when you're doing your project. They're pre-measured, so you don't need to measure anything out. Just dump them in a cup, and I will provide a 9-ounce cup to stir these into. So you'll just stir this into there. And I have 3 stir sticks to go with it. When you stir up the resin, keep one of the stir sticks for the colors. There's going to be 3 colors that you'll be using. So put those in there. We also have pins. That is so that you can pin these corners so that your surface is up a little bit and the resin doesn't stick to the puppy pad. And also in here I have these little glass beads. So I got thinking, this wasn't in my first kit, but I got to thinking that I've done a space pour where I have 3D planets on it, so I thought for this size, when a planet would probably look too big there, but I thought you could paint the back of it and make it kind of look like a planet. So I added some of those little beads, and I don't know if you can notice this, but this is painted green, white, and blue, kind of replicates our Earth, and just a, I don't know, white moon, whatever. And I'm gonna just paint like one in reds and kind of brown color to imitate, I don't know, whatever. So that is in this box. I also have all the paints in here. So the paints, if you choose to color the beads in any kind of color. Also white paint in here to stir, or not to stir, but to make little stars, like as you see on mine. It's got little stars with a fine point paintbrush. And I am on paintbrushes, unfortunately, and Amazon is taking forever because of this coronavirus in bringing my stuff. I ordered a bunch of stuff and I'm not getting it till the end of April. So I am a little bit low on supplies. So I am sorry I couldn't attach a paintbrush with your order. Now the paints themselves, they're all heavy-bodied paints in this. They don't move, they don't mix. You could shake them around. They don't mix, so that's why I put them all in the one container. These are black crystals that we will sprinkle across for like a, I don't know, a meteorite kind of look. These colors we'll be using: white, and this pretty dark pink, and this luminous, I think it's, yeah, black diamond luminous blue. I love this color. So those will go in. And resin. And then when you have your resin to pour on here, I have a little bit of sparkles to kind of simulate stars that are further off, or you know, just add some bling to it. I'll put these in a little 4-ounce cup. And then I have gloves. So I provided 6 pairs of gloves because sometimes I do change my gloves in between. So that is going in there. In this cup. I'll put those in there. Okay. Okay, and that's it there. And then I'll just focus the camera on the actual art. So as you can see, there's stars. I had this little drip of resin that is neon, so I thought, just stick it on there, see what happens. And I'm going to paint one of these beads to look like a planet. So I just take whatever kind of paint you have. You don't need anything special. But I'm just taking the red here from the gold, and I'm just sticking it in here. The beads are so small, you don't need much paint. So I'm just gonna, it's hard to do with gloves on, I'm telling you. This is the back side of the bead. And these colors are in the actual little part I sent. Okay. All right, so I don't know about that color combo, but where should we stick it? Maybe up there. There, okay. Another kind of planety looking thing. I wish I had a various size of those beads. That would be kind of interesting. Okay, so I'm going to mix up my resin. So what you do to mix up your resin is you put the whole container into your 9-ounce cup. Now, I'm trying to reduce the amount of plastic waste I have. So I use a silicone stir stick and a silicone cup. So if you ever get into resin and you like it, you can see my cup is dirty. It's got gold resin on the bottom. When you put your finger in there, you can just pull it straight out, so then the cup is clean again, at least on the inside. I don't really bother with the outside much. There's a little bit of resin left over, just scraping it out. So just one little tip, now I just need little resin cups so I can, or little silicone ones so I can measure out my resin properly. Okay, so we need about 4 ounces of resin for this painting. Now normally it's probably 2 ounces to cover a painting of this size, but I find I like 4 ounces better. So this is the hardener. I'm measuring out 2 ounces. This is a 2-ounce cup. Okay. And then we need 2 ounces of the resin. Pretty easy. You don't have to do this part, of course, the measuring part, unless you're following along. Okay. Now this needs to be mixed for 3 entire minutes. So I'm going to turn the video off for a second and stir it, and then I will be right back. Hi guys, so I'm back. I've stirred my resin up. I divided, or I took some in these little 1-ounce cups. These 1-ounce cups are also in your kit. We don't need a lot of color paint or resin. What we do need is more of the clear and the sparkles in it. So your kit has a little bit of sparkles. I don't think you'll need those all, but I probably put too much, but that's okay. So I'm just adding a little bit of sparkles, which happen to be too much sparkles, I think. And you stir it up. And then pour it out onto the board. Yeah, too much sparkles. Nothing I can do about it now. So be careful with your sparkles. You can see I have way too much. Okay, so all I'm going to do is take my hands right to the edges. You want to go over the edge with the resin on your hands so that the edges have some resin. Okay, almost. Just getting this last side. Now the reason I put this first and didn't make my colors first is because the longer the resin stands, the less fluidy it gets, so less likely to just kind of blend. So while I do this part, after I'm done this part, that's when I do the colors. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is that you need a heat gun or a hairdryer to complete this. You also need a little torch to pop air bubbles. The torch is not necessary because the hair dryer will probably get all the bubbles anyway, but just my kind of, sorry, just pulling out hairs. I just always just pop the air bubbles. Now, if you do notice on a place that the resin is not sticking, just go ahead and move it over. Sometimes that happens, could be oils on the board or whatever. Okay, so let's mix our other colors. So the pink. Put quite a bit of pink in here because I want it dark. I don't want it like really, if you have it too light, it doesn't show up well. It just kind of fades in. So because this is a translucent color, it's like meant to be see-through. This is the only translucent color there is, but as you can see here, it's pretty not as translucent. The other thing I add to it is a Resin Blast. This helps just with the techniques. Now, I can't send everybody Resin Blast, it's pretty expensive, but I did add a drop into your alcohol ink, so you have the Resin Blast also. You only need about, only one drop for this amount, and I definitely put a drop in each of the colors. Only the blue isn't going to get the Resin drop in your kit. Okay, and then for the white, I use something. Where'd it go? Oh, here. I use Casting Craft because it again, makes things not translucent. It's more opaque color. And I use it in the littlest. I don't use the white a lot, so just need a little bit. It also makes its own effects, but just because I added a drop there. Now this should be enough for this little half an ounce cup. And it is also that crafting, the exact same stuff that I use. Then the only thing left is the blue. I probably sent too much of the blue. So you can just kind of play and see how bright, vibrant you want it. So I usually end up putting about a scoop this big for this little tiny amount, which is a lot because your colors are not supposed to be more than 10% of your resin. But I just love the color, and I just want it to be so vibrant that I add that much. There, and a little Resin Blast here too. Okay. All right, I'll just pause you for a second. Okay, so I just got my heat gun ready to go, and we'll get this pour done in a couple seconds or a minute or so. Doesn't take very long once you get to the fun part. Oh, and I was going to mention, if you don't have a little torch like I did, the heat gun or a hairdryer, the hairdryer is the same, we'll get rid of the bubbles. Sometimes if I've been, I've used like even a barbecue lighter, will also take care of any bubbles. So I think I'm going to start with the blue. And I'm going to try and make a nebula. So just like... and wait. All right, so with the dryer, just go ahead and go straight down. You could point it also. I think it needs a little bit more white in here, maybe up here. Definitely doesn't need more pink. You see how we have more colors than we need, that's for sure. Okay, so I'm deciding that I maybe don't want these planets here because the nebula is too big. So I'm just picking them off. This one's been sitting there a little longer. Alright, well, I want to get a little color here because I have a little bit of paint there. I don't like this down here. It's kind of muddied the colors. And there's a lot of areas that are not covered in resin. So I'm just going to tilt it a couple times. I ended up blowing off quite a bit of the color because I thought I put too much. Alright, so there's a little bit here that does not have resin, but there's usually a little bit of resin that's left over in your cup, and for me there is, so that's good. Okay, I think I was going a little bit too hard with the heat gun, so I'm going to do it out low when I try to fix this. So I am going to just like go over it again. The color's muddied here. I don't like that. I might even... It's a good thing about having extra resin. Just making sure that nothing here is not covered. Okay, so I'm going to put this on low now. Now the good thing about this is that you can just kind of fool around with it till you like it. Now, I'm going to try and point it so that the white laces over the blue. Okay, I'm gonna leave this for now. I do really like this little edge here, this little kind of puff here. I don't know about this area, but we still have the rocks. So I was thinking of, I usually go corner to corner, but that might, I don't know about these rocks with the nebula, or if I should follow this pink line. Well, I'm just going to follow this pink line and see how it looks. Okay, well, I guess I like that. Just trying to decide if I should just leave it or add a little bit more white. I think I should probably just leave it. Now, if I could, I would take these off. But they're stuck on there from the paint from before. So you might want to skip this section, though if you really like the idea, you can, if you want to do like a solar system rather than a nebula, that would be cool too. But for now, this is what I'll keep it at. Now you have to let this set. Don't want to move it. You want to make sure it's level. Cover it if you can, if you have pets. And then after about 16 hours, it should be dry to the touch. But it is best to leave it for at least 24 hours before like trying to hang it or anything like that. So this is the video. Thank you for watching. If you've found this video on YouTube, you can follow me on my Facebook page at The Art of the Pour. So it's P-O-U-R, pour. Thanks for watching. I hope you make some great art. And come on my group, which is on The Art of the Pour, the art corner. Come on my group and show me your works. Thank you. Bye.